we went. If we didn't have enough money, we didn't go, so we had to stop home.
What kind of concerts were they? What kind of concerts?
Oh, they were all manner of concerts. They were, there was drama in them sometimes. You're talking about pictures, aren't you?
No, any concerts.
Yeah, well, they were dramas and comedy. And also we had the Sunday school concerts. Married women, single women, married men and single men. They all put on a concert.
Oh, yeah.
And we had the, what do you call those jiggers with all the kids on, you go to see them? Stop it. We also had pantomimes.
Did your amount of family entertainment increase or decrease?
Well, I would say it kept the same. It didn't decrease and it didn't increase.
Did you go like on picnics and all that stuff?
Oh yes, we went to picnics and that. The only picnics we ever did go, you say, was picnics, was the Sunday school picnics. There were not much picnics otherwise.
So, could you say that there are a lot of church social events?
Yeah, there was plenty of church social events.
And did they put on events to help the poor, or did they just put them on because it was the usual thing they did?
No, they put them on. They used to help people as much as they could.
Sure.
Especially the best ones of the lot for helping people was the Salvation Army people.
You were Church England, weren't you?
Yes.
Was boredom ever a problem?
No. We never had much time for boredom. We weren't going anywhere, we had to work, and that was the...
Like work like what? Like around the house or...?
Yeah, around the house, out in the garden, or inside the house cleaning up or doing things like that.
So you had to do your bit at home?
My word, yes.
Who was the oldest in your family?
Brother, I'm the eldest.
Oh, you are? Oh.
I'm the eldest.
Oh, I thought so. So did you ever have to look after the kids? Or your brothers or sisters?
Of course I did, yes. I was really nursemaid to them. Well, dang lot of them.
What would you consider to be the most popular form of entertainment?
Football, pictures and races.
Why? Why were they most popular? Was it because it wasn't, you didn't have to pay much to get into them, or?
Oh, they were pretty reasonable those days for the days. I think the football you could get in for 9pence. You get the pictures for about a shilling. And the races, well, if you didn't want to pay, you jumped over the fence.
Oh. Which newspapers did you read? Did these keep you up to date on the situation of Australia during the Depression?
Yes, we used to get the Advertiser and the Sun. And in later, a few years later, we used to get the Adelaide Advertiser and the Adelaide News.
What year did you shift to Adelaide?
Well, we were there in Adelaide in around about 1935-36.
Oh, okay. And did they keep you up to date on the Depression?
Oh yes, there was always news coming over on the radio.
And did the newspapers, was their main stories the Depression? The main headline stories were always the Depression?
No, not always.
Just
no.
General news?
Just general news.
The Depression didn't dominate the news?
No.
Did the Depression affect any of your sporting activity? For example, football.
Well, no, they didn't affect me because I never worried about going.
Did you play any sport?
Yes, I used to play cricket. But that was before, that was during the early Depression. And when I was married, well, I never had any sports at all.
So when you played cricket, when the Depression came, did the people playing cricket, did the number diminish?
No.
Who'd you play for?
Me?
Yeah.
I used to play for the Sunday school and social clubs. There was a lot of social clubs we used to play cricket. We used to play every Sunday. Cricket every Saturday. And
did your team have a name?
well,
Was it Golden Square?
it was the St Mark's Cricket Club.
Oh.
And then there was the Slum Bangers.
The Slum Bangers?
Yeah, that was
Why?
the social club name.
Why is the Slum Bangers?
Because we used to practice on slum. It was, the slum is a combination of sluicing for people looking for gold, the dredging
yeah.
and that. And it used to come to sand, used to come down, and they used to bank it up.
Oh.
And it was slum, called slum.
Okay. Now we're on to politics. The politics of the Depression. Is it possible to state that politics was a major discussion subject during the Depression?
No.
It wasn't. No one.
The only time politics would be you'd get a lot of talking about is when they'd come up for
an election.
Yeah.
Did your parents ever talk about it much?
Yes, my father used to. But my father, he was a great Labor man. And all the Christophers have been great Labor men.
Have they?
Yes.
Oh. Why?
Because they're the best party.
Oh,
That's why.
And what kind of things did your dad talk about?
What they were going to do when they got in.
So he was always praising the Labor Party and
Yeah.
they were...
The Labor Party only got in my years. They were out and they got in when the war, just before the war broke out, I think. That was always the same with Labor Party. They get in to try to get them out of the trouble that they're in.
So were they in during the Depression, or was the Liberal Party in there? Nationalist?
The Liberal Party wanted to get out.
Oh.
So they let the Labor Party to get in.
Oh.
When I say let them get in, they didn't let them get in. But they put the country in such a state that the Labor Party had to come in and try to clean it up.
And that happened during the Depression?
They were in before the Depressions, the Labor Party.
Okay. Did you have a passion for politics?
Well, yes, I used to help my father go out and I used to scrutineer for them, give out tickets and go around sometimes with the car to pick up people, elderly people that couldn't walk the distance. We used to escort them down to the polling booth.
Oh, so you really into politics?
When I was younger, yes.
Yeah, to help the Labor.
Help the Labor. I wouldn't help any other party.
Well, that really explains the question. Do you believe that the government's depression... Do you believe that the governments of the Depression years made any real effort to help the unemployed?
They did the best they could at the time. They give us the dole, which was called sasso. They had to work for what they received those days, and if they didn't work, well, they got nothing. The father, if he was working, his family could not receive, these boys or his girls, if they weren't working, they could not get Even they were not working, they could not get the dole because their father was supposed to keep them. They received, the people on the dole also received a small amount of cash and coupons to get meat and groceries, etc. At the time they could not do any more than what they did.
Good. Did you know anyone who was connected with the New Guard? Connected with the New Guard? Had you heard of the New Guard?
No.
They were the people who fought the communists, who were against the communists. Did you know anyone who was a communist?
Oh yes, I knew quite a few communists.
Did you really? In Bendigo?
In Bendigo, yes, but I'm not going to name them.
Oh no, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And what were their opinions of the Depression?
Well, they was the same, they were hit just the same as anybody else.
So were they for the Labor Party or?
They,
if they went to vote, who would they vote for?
well, they had a party of their own, the Communist Party.
Oh, and were they members of it?
We had members in the Labor Party. Yes, they were known as the Socialists.
Oh yeah. Were you for communism or?
Definitely not.
Oh, so did you know anyone who was really anti-communist and could be thought of as a New Guard person?
Oh well, yes, I know a few, but I'd never heard that name used before.
Oh.
New Guard.
And was there more? So would you say more communists? You knew more communists than more anti-communists?
Well, there were quite a few communists. There was quite a few, but I wouldn't say there was more, because if they had been, well, they would have got, their party would have got in.
But you knew of more? Were they all friends of yours?
Yes, I had friends of both sides.
And did they mix?
Yes, they used to mix, yes.
I believe that during the Depression, lectures were held to warn the Bendigo community of communists. Did you ever attend one of these meetings?
No, I never attended one. They used to have meetings. Some of them.
Did you hear of them?
I did hear of them, but that's the only notice I took of them.
What kind of people spoke at them?
Very highly educated people.
Were there ministers and all that type of stuff? People?
No, not that I know of, but there was some people that I knew were in very high positions.
Did they get large crowds?
They used to get a nice small crowd.
And did people did people really agree with them?
No, there would be some people would agree with them and some wasn't. But the biggest majority of people were against communism. And it was quite right to go and be against it.
Why?
Because then they haven't got the right ideas.
What kind of ideas have they got?
Well, socialist. I can't pronounce that.
It has been stated that during the Depression, Bendigo was a sound financial city. Do you believe this statement? Do you agree with it?
It was a sound financial city.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose I'd have to say yes, but their money tightened up, the banks tightened up, and everyone else tightened up with their money.
Would you say that Bendigo is better off than places like Melbourne?
Well,
less varied range of.
Well, see, there was more people in Melbourne than Bendigo.
Yeah.
It was just as hard in one place as another.
Was there still that wide range of, like from poverty to middle high class people in Bendigo? There were still people who were living on practically nothing and people with all the wealth?
Yes, yes.
Wide range?
Yes, the middle class people. And during those days, you'd have meant to get a few bob to get a bit of pocket money, he'd go out and he'd sweep up the horse manure off the road, and he'd go around to the people that he knew that had money,
Yeah.
and he'd sell them a bucket of manure. Try to sell it.
Yeah. Oh. And
They'd try anything to get it. In those days, there was a lot of people, a lot of men especially, they used to, what they used to call as men of leisure or swagmen. And they used to travel, and lots of times they used to jump the trains. We used to call us jumping rattlers. And they'd go from one place to another, trying to get a job, a few jobs. And mostly, the men that went around, if they wanted to work, they'd get the work off the farmers, and they'd give them a job as cleaning their one of their paddocks has got thistles in it. The money wasn't good, but you got a few bob to get a packet of tobacco or something like that, and to get something to eat.
what class would you say you would have been in during the Depression?
In the poor class, in the middle class, we was all poor.
Middle class.
Yes.
Did you have any people ever come knocking around on your door to, asking for money or asking if you had any things you wanted done?
Yes, we had people doing that, coming around.
Did you ever give anyone anything? Or did
Not
you
as
always-
far as money is concerned, because we never had it. We used to
Never.
give them a meal.
Oh.
Things like that.
Is there anything else you want to say on politics?
No,
Employment. What year did you leave school? 1926.
yeah,
Did you find employment in the same year?
as I left school. Yes.
What else?
Blimey.
You don't know.
Yes, I've had various jobs.
Yeah, but when you left school, what job did you go into? What thing did you do first?
Washing bottles at the Bendigo dispensary for 7 and 6 a week.
What kind of bottles? Medicine bottles?
Medicine bottles, yeah.
And how long did you stay there for?
About 6 months.
And do you know what you did after that?
Yes, I got a job as with a bricklayer. His name was Mr. Sanson, and he went broke, and I only lasted there about 12 months there, and then I got onto the railways as a cleaner. But when I went for the examination, I failed it. I'm colourblind, so I got put out.
Oh.
From then, after getting put out from then, I went into the mines, and I was working there, down below, and also in the battery at the mines.
What mines?
The Bendigo mines, the Napoleon, the old Napoleon, the oh, you've got me there, I can't think of all the names.
Whereabouts in Bendigo?
Golden Gully,
Golden Gully.
yeah,
Is that near Golden Square?
yeah, just up to here, in towards Kangaroo Flat. Casharton was the name of the mine I worked in there. And then in Ophir Street, Golden Square, I worked at the Deborah mine, one of the Deborah mines there.
Oh. And how long did that last, that employment?
Well, that employment lasted, I suppose, from when I started in the mines, I would be there 5 or 6 years.
And then did you go to the ordnance factory?
No. No, I went over to, worked in another mine over in...
How hard was it to find employment?
very hard.
Well, you didn't seem to have much trouble. Were they just after employing young people? Or did you have long rests in between your employment?
Yes, I had rests between them.
Of how long would you say?
For quite a while.
Was it hard to keep employment?
If you done your work, you're all right. But you had to work those days. Your head was down, and your head was up, and your head was down, and your backside was up. You kept your head down all the time. You had to keep going.
And did you walk long distances to find your employment, or did you go everywhere to try and get some type of employment?
Oh no, I used to jump the ratlers and carry me swag. I don't mind telling you that. I used to do it.
Did you?
Sleep out in the open air.
Just around the Bendigo area? What year was this?
Oh, this was early in my piece. Yes, up to Echuca, Shepparton, Kyabram, all around there.
So there wasn't much employment around Bendigo area, so you had to go to other places?
Well, you had to go looking for it.
Were many of your family or friends unemployed?
Most of my friends were unemployed like myself.
Getting odd jobs here and there.
Yes, and not only that, if you were smokers, it was hard to keep yourself in cigarettes. I was with 7 or 8 of us, and we had one cigarette, and it started at one line, and it went down the 7 of us on the one cigarette to have a puff.
Was your dad ever unemployed?
No, never.
What did you do?
My father?
Yeah.
My father was a fitter on the railways.
And he always had a job?
Always had a job.
Or that same job?
The same job, yes.
Did either you or a member of your family receive unemployment benefits?
None of us.
Why? Because your dad was
Because
working?
the father was working.
How about friends?
Yes, I had quite a few friends that they couldn't get the dole, get assistance because their father was working.
Oh, so they didn't...
They didn't get it either. They had to go without. Their father had to keep them.
So they didn't get to do relief work?
No, they wouldn't. Wasn't accepted because their father was working, and the fathers were expected to keep their family.
Did you know anyone who worked on the Epilogue Weir or something like that during the Depression?
Yes, but they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Davison used to work out there. He was one man. He was a blacksmith, and he's dead and gone. And Percy. But there was quite a lot of others that used to work out there.
Do you know of any suicides or murders as a result of unemployment?
I suppose there was, but I can't recall them to mind.
You never heard of any?
Not that I can recall.
Would it have, if they had happened, would they have been freely talked about, or would they have been hushed up?
They would have been hushed up.
Was your leaving school a direct result of the Depression? Was it a...
No. I left school because I couldn't go any further.
Because you didn't want to, or...
Hey?
Because of the school system?
No, I got to the 8th grade, and my uncle was going to apprentice me to carpentry. That's what he told me, and led me father to believe too. And I was going to go to the technical school. But my uncle said, no, don't let him go, because if he does, I'll have to undo all that they teach him. So, when I left school, Dad said, go over and see your uncle. So I went over and seen my uncle, and he didn't tell me, but he wrote a letter to my father, and in the letter was, he can't employ me because he's going to employ his own son. So I never got a job.
So
that's why I didn't go.
So you didn't leave school because of the depression. You didn't leave school because you had to leave school and get employment.
No, I didn't leave that one.
It was just a kind of an accident. Would you have gone any further?
No, I wouldn't have gone any further because I didn't have brains enough.
Runs in the family.
I played the truant for 9 months.
Oh, really?
From school until I got found out. The first lot was 3 months, and then that was when I was in the 6th grade, and when I was in the 8th grade, I played it for 6 months.
What did you do?
Used to go out on the drays that used to take the wood around to the mines. And then filling me time like that.
Did your mum and dad know?
They found out in the end, and I got a darn good thrashing for it.
Would you have stayed? No, you wouldn't have stayed at school. Did you know anyone who did leave school because of the depression?
No. No, they were old enough to leave school, and they just left, and they didn't get a job. Well, that was it.
Did the hours you worked and the amount of pay fluctuate at all during the depression?
It was always the same.
What hours?
Used to work 8 hours, 48 hours a week.
And the pay?
Very small. The pay at those times was 3 guineas. And for out of the 3 guineas you got for working, you had to keep the 3 shillings and buy yourself a stamp for taxation purposes.
And so you're in a lot of different jobs. Did each job, was the pay was it different at all, or was it always 3 guineas?
That's if you was employed.
Yeah.
If you was working for anybody. But if you was on part-time, like one time you might be working for a farmer, well, you get 5 bob a week in your keep. If you wasn't working for them, you're only working day work, well, sometimes you might get up to around about 3 quid for the week. But you never got much over.
Yeah. Did the depression lead you to acquiring new skills?
No.
It was just all ordinary work.
Just ordinary work.
That anyone could have done. You didn't specialise in anything.
No, I didn't specialise in anything.
Did the depression affect women's work and union membership?
No, I don't think so. I don't know much about that. I couldn't quote on that.
Well, were there many women working during the depression?
Well, quite a few of the women seem to get jobs easier than the men.
Did you feel did you dislike them because or did you know did the men was there a general dislike for women from the men because they were taking up men's jobs?
No, in the depression the women mostly done women work. They never done men's work.
So if those jobs had have been free, well, the men wouldn't have taken them anyway.
No, but in them, and not only that, most men were pleased that the women were working, because sometimes they depended on the women to take them to the pictures. It was their money they used, or to get them a packet of cigarettes.
And did your mum ever work?
No, not that I know of. No, she didn't.
Now, housing.
What's this?
Housing?
Housing, yeah. There comes it.
Did you own or rent your home, and where was it? Or say, your mum and dad, did they own or rent their house?
They owned their house, mum and dad.
Where was it?
in Rowe Street, R-O-W-E, Golden Square, off McDoodle Road.
Is it still there?
No, it got burnt down a few years ago. It was a new house built on the block.
Oh. How would you describe your dwelling?
A weatherboard.
And would it be considered a nice house?
Well, just an ordinary home, a worker's home.
How many bedrooms did it have?
3 bedrooms, a lounge room, a kitchen.
And there were 7 of you?
5 of us. Oh, 7 with the mother, yeah.
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 And so Tiny Dot would have had a room of her own, would she?
Yes. Yeah.
And there was 4 of you all in the one bedroom? Or
No, my father, when we were about 14, I think, years of age, my father